sponsor of KUAW Radio. At Bank of Blue Valley, we believe that an understanding of financial values sets individuals up for a strong future. Whether you want to talk about checking and savings accounts, review lending alternatives, or discuss starting your own business, we have the right people to listen and advise. Visit us at bankbv.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
But we're going to stop for a special broadcast, an interview.
You're listening to 98.5. This is
Tyrone
KUAW, Kansas City, Missouri. Glad you're listening. Keep tuning to the new voice in Kansas City.
Nicole Galloway.
Hi, my name is Felania Johnson, and I'm a freshman at Purcell Academy of Fine and Performing Arts.
My name is Mayan Charity, and I'm a 7th grader at Lincoln College Preparatory.
STEM is a program about science, technology, engineering, and math. More girls our age should get more involved in the program because there's a shortage of black girls in STEM.
African American women make up just 2% of engineers. Roughly 1/3 of students of color express an interest in STEM. Most black women think that STEM is too challenging. We are sisters in STEM, and we are encouraging young black teens to join STEM.
If you're interested in more information, please contact Ina Montgomery at 816-866-6340.
Tycon Company, LLC, specializes in a wide range of construction services, which includes the removal and replacement of concrete curbs, sidewalk, driveway, and paving. They pride themselves in the quality of their service, but more importantly, with the quickness in which they provide those services. Their primary goal and objective is to achieve 100% customer satisfaction, and they won't settle for anything less. Their crews travel within a 100-mile radius of the Kansas City, Missouri metropolitan area, which includes cities on both sides of the Kansas and Missouri state line. Tycon Company, LLC, 4435 Prospect Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64130, 816-921-0473. Tycon Company, LLC, quality with quickness. Proud sponsor of Wake Up KC.
This is Quentin Lucas, speaking on behalf of KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. Make sure that you gain that knowledge listening to this station and following us on Facebook Live. KUAW, making sure our community has a voice.
You are listening to The Lene Gray Show on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom.
This is your host, Kay Brooklyn, and our wonderful co-host, Dre B. This is the Love Project Radio Show, where it's all love, all the time.
We definitely want you to tune in to the Love Project Radio Show every first and third Sunday of the month. And also the show starts at 4 p.m. So please tune in. We discuss different topics from relationships to things that are going on in the world. Again, the Love Project Radio Show at 4 p.m. on every first and third Sunday.
We'll make you laugh, we'll make you cry, and most importantly, we'll make you love.
What's happening, everybody? Jazz trumpeter Tom Jamaica Funk Brown wishing all of my KUAW fans season's greetings and the warmest Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
very faint. Okay, how about now?
A little bit.
All right.
Yeah, it's faint last time. Yeah, I'm going to try to connect the pole again.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
All right, can you hear it?
Yes, I can hear you.
Tyrone?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing, Ms. Galloway?
Oh, I'm doing well. I can barely hear you, though.
All right. How about now? Is it better?
Oh, that's a little better, yeah. I'm
All right.
sorry, I am in the back of a bus, and so it's pretty noisy.
Okay, that's okay. We'll go ahead and make it happen. I'm going to go ahead and get us started, and then I'll bring you on in. Okay. This is Tyrone Gathers Jr., your host of The Source of the Inkwell, live on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. You can check out this broadcast a number of ways on KUAW.org, on KUAW Radio on YouTube. You can ask your Alexa or your Google Echo, play KUAW, will pop right up. We're also on Facebook Live, KUAW-LPFM 98.5. We're on Periscope, we're on Twitter, and we're on your TuneIn device. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can hit us up at 816-599-6893 or KUAW985@gmail.com. This is a special broadcast. I have on the line today Miss Nicole Galloway. She's running for governor of the state of Missouri on the Democratic ticket. How are you doing this morning, or this afternoon?
I am doing well, Tyrone. Thanks for having me back on your show.
Oh, no, thank you for taking the invitation. I mean, last time we had a real great conversation. A lot of individuals were like, yes, I'm really feeling what Ms. Galloway is saying. So I said, well, I got to get her back on and see how the campaign's going. So how's everything going on the campaign trail?
You know, things are going really well. We have the momentum in this race. Governor Parsons, my opponent, started with a lead in the polls. We have completely erased his lead, and so we are neck and neck. I mean, we are so close, and it's going to take everyone getting out to vote, everyone having their voice heard at the ballot box in order for us to get across the finish line. I'm not taking anything for granted. We're sprinting through Tuesday. Wow,
that sounds great, and I want to let everyone know that, you know, Ms. Galloway actually took the time to call while she is actually campaigning. So as she's talking to us on the phone right now, she's actually hitting that trail hard running. So we thoroughly appreciate you for that. And we also, I'm glad to hear that your campaign is going well and that you're neck and neck with Governor Parsons, because for a while, you know, it was kind of, out there. It was like, free for all, but now it's looking good. It's definitely looking good. Could you please remind people what are some of the high pieces of your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, when I launched this campaign for governor nearly a year ago, I never could have imagined where we would be today. The economic crisis, the public health crisis that we are facing. But I knew even then that Missouri's families needed a change, and I am even more certain of it now. I think the most important thing the next governor will have to do is contain the spread of this virus and get people back to work. You know, there are common sense things that we can do to contain this virus so we can get our lives back, get our schools fully reopened, and that's going to be the biggest responsibility of the next governor. Also, I'm talking a lot about healthcare, because we know that there were inequalities in our healthcare system before this pandemic, and now where we're at in this pandemic, because of the coronavirus, Black Missourians are 6 times more likely to die from COVID than white Missourians. And so these disparities that we've had in healthcare for a long time, they're getting exposed. Those cracks are getting wider and deeper. And I have a plan to address that so folks can have access to healthcare and we can create good jobs along the way. Healthcare that folks can afford. I think that's the number one issue, right? It's healthcare that people can't afford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you made a key point. And I was scrolling back and I was looking at an article from local newspaper, and they were saying that Governor Parsons is having an issue with being trusted in regards to expanding Medicaid, and also that he did purge 100,000 kids from Medicaid. Do you have anything to say about that, or?
Oh, I I mean, first of all, Governor Parson opposes Medicaid expansion, and let's break down what that means. He opposes giving nearly 250,000 working Missourians access to health care in the midst of a pandemic. He's just on the wrong side of this issue. I support Medicaid expansion. I know that we can implement it in a way that not only gives folks health insurance through Medicaid, but also access to quality care that is close to home. But, Governor Parsons' terrible record on health care goes deeper than that, because you're right, he did kick 100,000 children off of their state health insurance. And I have met with these mothers. I have met with these kids. They were showing up at routine doctor's appointments and getting turned away because Governor Parson made that policy choice, and then bragged about it as a quote-unquote budget efficiency. Kicking kids off their health care to him is a budget efficiency. As governor, I will stop those purges and make sure that folks have access to the health care that they need, that they can afford their prescription drugs, and that we can have coverage for pre-existing conditions. That's also in peril under Governor Parson. And if the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that health care is really essential to folks. And we're going to be living with this pandemic for a while. I hope it's over soon, but we have to face reality that people need health care.
Yeah, definitely, especially with all these children going back to school as well, too, because we're hearing so many cases of children getting infected with the COVID-19 virus while they're in school, while they're playing sports, and schools are being shut down, and people are being quarantined because of this stuff. And when you say that during a pandemic, could you imagine a child being infected with this virus and they don't have the insurance to get checked out?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, you're putting people in an impossible position if they don't have health care. If people are delayed going to the hospital and are terrified that they won't be able to pay their medical bills, if they get COVID and end up in the ICU or in a ventilator. And, we're at a dire situation, a dire inflection point with COVID right now, because there in Kansas City, ambulances are getting turned away at hospitals because the hospitals are so overrun with COVID patients. And so, we're headed in the wrong direction, and we have a governor that doesn't even recognize that there's a problem. He keeps saying everything is fine. Don't worry about it. Well, tell that to the folks that are getting turned away at hospitals. Tell that to the 3,000 Missouri families that have lost a loved one because of this virus, or folks that still don't have a job and don't have a job to go back to because of the economic impacts of this virus. If you're not willing to recognize that there's a problem, that there's an issue, how do you put forward a plan to address it? I have a plan. I have a plan based on science, on data, to get our lives back, and we can.
Okay, we lost you briefly. It might be a signal issue. Are you still there?
Hello?
Yeah, there you are. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think we might have lost you briefly because I think you said you were traveling. It might be a little signal issue that might have interrupted us a little bit. But could you repeat the last part that you said?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Our hospitals are being overrun with COVID patients. And in Kansas City, there are stories of ambulances being turned away from hospitals because they're so overrun with COVID patients. That is terrifying. And it's happening all across the state, not just in Kansas City, but all across the state. Our positivity rates are up at alarming rates. And Governor Parson just refuses to act. He keeps telling everybody that everything's fine, that there's no problem, that COVID is under control, when clearly it is not. And if he is not willing to recognize that there's a problem, willing to recognize that people are still hurting from this virus, that folks have lost their jobs from this virus, or because of this virus, and that people are hurting right now, then how can he ever have a plan to address it?
Right.
I do have a plan to get this virus under control based on science, on data, so we can get our lives back and we can protect the public health along the way.
Yeah, now you said you had a plan. Is it possible to share a little bit of your plan, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And folks can go to NicoleGalloway.com to see some of the plans that I've put out, my opportunity agenda for Black Missourians, my healthcare plan, my COVID plan. And for COVID specifically, I do believe that there should be a statewide mask rule. This is a data-backed, science-proven way to contain the spread of this virus. We need more rapid testing. We need an actual contact tracing program. And remember, there's still $1 billion in CARES Act money that is stuck at the state level that Governor Parson is not using to help folks with PPE, to help folks that have lost their job get through this with wage replacement. He is not acting with urgency to address this virus, and I will.
Wow. Man, that last part that you said about sitting on all that money, I wasn't aware of that. So, that's definitely, if we can get that out there up under your leadership, that would be great for everyone to get those resources, because right now it's very barren out there, and I'm seeing a lot of individuals struggling in regards to regrouping from this pandemic. I'm seeing schools shutting down, businesses shutting down, churches not functioning, families just falling apart. So I'm thankful to hear that you actually have a plan in place to get everyone back up and running again safely, backed by science.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as I said, people are still hurting, and there's so many folks that they were working, they were doing everything that they were supposed to do, and now COVID has pushed them over an edge through no fault of their own. And as they're pushed off this edge, we can't let them fall through the cracks to a place they'll never get out of, because the fog of COVID will clear at some point. And folks need a hand and a net to make sure that they can survive this. And it's just unconscionable to me that Governor Parson declared mission accomplished over COVID in May. And now we see all the numbers going in the wrong direction. The unemployment and the number of folks that have left the labor force because they cannot find a job in this COVID economy is alarming. And as I said, he's sitting on $1 billion that should be used and deployed locally in communities to help families get through this, so we can get to the other side, folks can get back to work, and our schools can fully open again. It's just imperative that we have a governor that recognizes the issue here, so we can work to fix it.
Wow. Well, Ms. Galloway, thank you much for all the information that you're giving us, and also for how you're working hard for them, for the state. I've been watching, what's been going on your campaign, and it's very impressive with what you're doing, and I thoroughly appreciate you for the position that you're wanting to pursue.
Well, thank you, Tyrone. Thank you for having me on. And I just want to say one last time to anybody that's listening, remember to go and vote Tuesday, November 3rd.
Yes.
You can go to movotesafe.org. That's movotesafe.org to find your polling location so you can make a plan to vote.
And also, if someone wants to do more research on your campaign, they can go to
NicoleGalloway.com.
NicoleGalloway.com. Well, thank you, Ms. Galloway. I know that we pressed for time. You out there, making it happen. So I thank you for taking the time and rapping with us. I love when politicians take the time from their schedule to just talk to little people like us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You take care.
You too. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. You've been listening to Tyrone Gathers from Source of the Inkwell on KUAW Radio as he was talking with the gubernatorial candidate, Ms. Nicole Galloway. We're also reaching out to Governor Parson's organization, and if they would like to have time on the air on KUAW Radio, we invite them to contact KUAW Radio. You can contact us at KUAW985@gmail.com, or you can give us a call at 816-599-6893. So we want to open our airways to all people that are running for office in the state of Missouri and nationally. So please, Governor Parson, we would love to hear from you. Thank you. This has been a special broadcast of KUAW Radio. We enjoy you for listening to us. We're going to go back to our regular programming at this time, the Cheryl Underwood Show. Thank you for listening. Continue to listen to KUAW Radio.